How has that battle been? Because, you know, sometimes investors are in it for the profit, and when the government is looking at standards, because, I mean, you know that at the end of the day, that is what will keep your visitors coming in, you know, if they're happy with the state of things. How has that relationship been between you and those who have invested?
So far, so good, I would say. It's been quite, I mean, so far, so good. But it has to be done. You know, it's not... life is not always beautiful. What has to be done has to be done. The standards have to be good. I mean, we are asking the whole world to come, so we must ensure that we continue working with them to achieve the best standard that we can achieve. I know that, yes, the private sector person looks at just profit, but once the awareness is there that, you know, you have government watching over and ensuring that there's an improvement of standard, I think we will get where we want to go.
You know, fashion capital, Paris, New York, and so many other places can actually be attributed to so many things. Bayelsa is trying to go into entertainment. Tell us more about Arma and even pageantry that you have decided to go into and how it's working for you.
Yes, well, like the Arma, what I would say is it's actually gotten a lot of, again, it's gotten a lot of our youths interested in the film, in the creative industry. And that's where I think it has impacted positively on our people. Alongside the award event itself, there's always trainings in different sectors of the film industry, from makeup artists to all the other creative sections. So I think it's impacted very positively on the people from that perspective. The pageant is another event where you get a lot, we use a lot of our local resource persons as well. So from that perspective, there's been a lot of benefit to our people. Another area where you find a lot of Bayelsans, you know, involved is in the area of music, and we also have the Cannes Music Award, and they are also very involved in that. And last year, I think it was crowned up with the Bayelsa International Jazz Festival, which was also wonderful. It was also an opportunity to bring out some of our new budding jazz artists, because I think the first two that started the show were Bayelsans.
Jazz?
Yes, we're Bayelsans. And I remember when we started, a few people were like, jazz in Bayelsa. But it was wonderful. If I want to believe that it was the best jazz festival that Nigeria had last year.
Do you have a calendar now of all these events? You know, you have quite a number of them through the year. Do you have like a set calendar? So maybe it's something that people across the country can look forward to. Know, okay, this time of the year I should be in Bayelsa. There is competition in tourism. You must admit that. Across the country, many states want to be the center of tourism and want to develop those areas. What would you say are your strong selling points, and where do they fit in? Is it within a national calendar, so to speak?
Yes, we have our own calendar.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, we have a website, you know, that you could access, you know, www.tourbayelsa.com.ng, where you could find a whole lot of these informations. Each one of these events we do also has their dedicated websites as well, you know, so there's information. And of course we do the Google adverts, we tweet and all that. So it goes out that way.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we know we have a lot of competition, which is why we're ensuring that the events are of the best standards that can possibly be found anywhere in the world. And I think that's where you would have people saying to themselves, oh, you know what, I would love to attend this. We had people come all the way from Lagos, for instance, to attend the Bayelsa International Jazz Festival because they would love to watch some of the artists that were coming in. And I remember somebody making a comment, you know, I came thinking I wouldn't enjoy myself, but you know, I actually did. So I think it was, I mean, the more that goes on, after a while it will sell itself.
Okay, but are you one of those who would say we should have a national calendar for festivals? Because I mean, definitely a host of states will be creating a niche for themselves in different areas, and perhaps to give the average traveler maybe room to be able to, you know, enjoy some of those things across the state. Would you advocate a national tourism calendar?
Definitely, because it makes a whole lot of sense. And I think that there's that line of thought from the Federal Ministry of Tourism. I think I've heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't actually been put together yet, but I remember that we've once been told to try to, for the dates to be chosen so that they don't clash, so that you can enjoy, for instance, the Calabar Carnival and still enjoy the Rivers Carnival, the Abuja Carnival at separate times. So I think there's generally that understanding for now, but I think they're working towards actually putting it together in a proper calendar.
What then would you say will be your strongest selling points, assuming we were to have that sort of calendar?
In terms of
events being organized.
The special event.
Yes.
I think the quality of events that we put out here will be our strongest.
Of all the events?
Generally, yes, I think. I would love to say so. But the particular one that I would, well, should I say one or two that I would lean towards is the cultural festival, which we haven't done yet, which we're putting up. I think that would be spectacular, and I think it would be unique. And I think the jazz festival would continue to take a good.
It's going to be a yearly event.
Yes.
Okay.
But can you say this is impacting on the economy? I mean, I see people complaining about unemployed graduates, young people who are out there. How is this impacting on them?
Because each time you have an event, would I say all the resources you can find for the event locally are found locally.
All of them?
Yes. We had the African fashion reception last week. We had models, maybe 30% of the models used were Bayelsans, maybe another 30% were from different parts of Nigeria, because that was a more national, in fact it was an African event. And then we had models from Europe and from the rest of Africa. So it's quite a good percentage, of local skills being utilized.
So what kind of vision is the agency working with in terms of your target, to the extent you can say, well, so far we've been able to achieve this and this is how far we can go?
Yes, I believe that we've been able to achieve definitely trying to reach maybe a 70% projection of having the awareness, for instance, of what we're trying to do, people having an interest in wanting to choose to come to Bayelsa. I want to believe that locally, nationally, we have achieved quite a good percentage.
You must be like an octopus for you to get this awareness out there. Print, electronic, website, television, radio. How well have you been able to do all of that? Do you also have places where you can distribute leaflets, like the airports, the hotels, when people come in and they say, okay, these are some of the places I can actually visit in Bayelsa State?
Yes, we have the distribution of leaflets has actually been concentrated more locally, but nationally we've done that actually more using the television, the radios, and all that.
And sorry, Chamberlain, I actually wanted us to talk a little about the festival that comes once every 5 years. It's interesting, maybe because we never can tell. When next is the festival?
We had one last year.
So 5 years from now is the other one. 4 years from now.
Another 4 years from now. But very similar.
So what's
to
the catch thing?
Fishing. Yeah. It's a fishing festival. What happens is, there's an opening ceremony. And they have the traditional aspects, which I don't.
They all get into the water at the same time?
They all at the same time and start fishing. And it's really just like the Arabic fishing festival.
People allowed. Sorry, I'm excited about this. Are people allowed to fish, or you just wait till about 5 years?
You're not supposed to be allowed to fish. There's a taboo. You don't go in there until that day.
Well, you just said that it's like the Argungu Fish Festival, which is definitely a more popular festival, but you also have something like that. Yeah. Are you going to be timing it in such a way that it doesn't clash with the Argungu Fish Festival?
That's a little difficult to time, because there's a local aspect to how they come up with the dates.
Oh, okay. That's as interesting as well, because the thing is, if people are to pick between a more established one, you find that the new one might be a little on the edge. What would you sell to the person who is going to be, maybe has the choice to pick between
The
the two of
interesting
them?
thing, it's not known nationally, but it's very well known in this local area.
Okay.
It was well attended from as far as maybe Anambra and all of that. It was very well attended.
Okay.
You had well over 500 canoes entering the water at the same time.
We've got this question from John Karinate, who says we should ask you, what is the plan of the government concerning the natural creeks and seashores that will attract tourists?
Well, those are kind of areas where government is hoping to actually find people, investors to come and invest. For instance, the lake we've just talked about is beside a really nice place where people can. I think they already have a nice little hotel in that locality, but I mean it's a nice place to build a nice resort. There are a few other lakes like that. You know, you have the Lake Okao in Toruwa and a few others all around Bayelsa that are like that, where people can actually develop beautiful tourist resorts. So, like I keep saying, government will provide a nice enabling environment, hoping that we can find private sector people that would be happy to come and build these resorts in all these areas.
Okay, then we've been speaking with Mrs. Ebizi Brown, who is the Director General, Bayelsa State Tourism Development Agency. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you.
We'll be back after this. Join us again.